Hi North Bay, this is Mrs. Powers, and I'm here again with you with your history lesson for this week. And we are going to look at lesson 14, and it's about Constantine I and the Edict of Milan. All right, listen up, and you'll do your pre-test number 5. To go along with this one, it's a matching one, okay? So let's listen. For 3 long centuries after the resurrection of Christ, Christians were persecuted. They were imprisoned, tortured, burned, crucified, and mauled by wild animals. Thousands of people died for the cause of Christ. Finally, though, there came a time when the persecution stopped. It was Constantine I who officially brought the bloodshed to an end. For this important reason and many others, he is sometimes called Constantine the Great. As a young man, Constantine was an able soldier. His father was an emperor of the Western Roman Empire. When his father died in 306, Constantine naturally claimed the throne. But it wasn't easy to become emperor. In 312, Constantine had to beat out his greatest rival, Maxentius, in the Battle of Milvian Bridge. The beautiful Arch of Constantine in Rome was built to commemorate the great victory. According to legend, Constantine had a spiritual experience during the Battle of Milvian Bridge that forever shaped his outlook on Christianity. Supposedly, he saw a cross in the sky with these Latin words inscribed on it, "In hoc signo vinces," meaning, "In this sign you shall conquer." Later, Constantine supposedly had a vision of Christ and in a dream saw the Greek letters chi and rho, the first 2 letters of Christos. From that time on, Constantine viewed Christianity with great respect. He used the cross and the Greek letters as his battle symbol. As a result of his experience, Constantine did something very incredible in the early church. In 313, he signed the Edict of Milan. The edict was a document that ensured freedom from persecution for all Christians in the Roman Empire, both East and West. It said, "Our purpose is to grant both the Christians and to all others full authority to follow whatever worship each man has desired." What celebrating there must have been! What tears of joy must have fallen! Finally, Christians were free to worship without fear for their lives. No more hiding, no more jail, no more martyrdom in the Roman Empire. The edict was a tremendous gesture of mercy by Constantine. Was Constantine then a believer? We don't know for sure. Though he respected Christians and freed them of persecution, he didn't profess to become a Christian until near his death. It was then that he was baptized. His mother, however, had a genuine conversion experience to Christianity. She traveled to the Holy Lands to better understand her newfound faith. Whether or not she influenced her son, we don't know for sure. But if she did, it is a beautiful illustration of the answer to a mother's prayer and the fulfillment of God's promise to bless one's children with salvation. As an emperor, Constantine was very capable. Though the Roman Empire had been divided under Diocletian, Constantine decided he wanted to rule the entire empire. And he did that by defeating the Emperor of the East in 324. It was then that Constantine made a significant decision. He moved the capital of the Roman Empire to the ancient city of Byzantium. Byzantium, which is modern-day Istanbul, Turkey, is a great location for a capital city. It sits at the entrance to the Black Sea between Europe and Asia, making it a perfect place for traders of the East to meet with traders of the West. Constantine renamed the city New Rome, but it quickly became known as Constantinople, which means the city of Constantine. Besides establishing a new capital, Constantine did his best to help the early church become better established. A great example of this was his calling together leaders of the church to settle their disputes. You see, some Christians were convinced that Jesus was the same as God, but some believers thought he was not. There was also the problem within the church as to when the resurrection ought to be celebrated. at what has been named the Council of Nicaea. In 325, Constantine invited 300 bishops or church leaders to discuss the serious differences. As a result of the council, the Nicene Creed was written. It was a document very similar to the Apostles' Creed, which states exactly what Christians believe to be the truth about Jesus Christ. In summary, the Nicene Creed states that Jesus is the same as God. That is, he is God, not just similar to God. This creed is of great significance to Christians even now. I hope you're beginning to appreciate Constantine for all he did. He allowed the Christians to worship freely, he brought Rome back together as one empire, and he helped settle disputes in the church. However, there was one downside to this. In an effort to bring unity to Rome, Constantine was beginning to blend the authority of the government with the authority of the church. One example of this was a change in the court system. You see, by the time of Constantine, almost half of the Roman Empire had converted to Christianity. These converts were very unhappy with the Roman court system. It seemed to them pagan and unfair, so they set up their own courts. When Christianity became legal under the Edict of Milan, these Christian courts grew to be even more popular. Even the pagan people preferred them. Of course, the men who served in these Christian courts were also church leaders. Under Constantine, these church leaders were required to wear long robes or gowns like the Roman court officials did. That is why today some church leaders still wear long robes or gowns in their churches. This tradition goes all the way back to the early Middle Ages. Although it was beneficial for Christians to establish a court system, it created problems too. It eventually led to the idea that the emperor could use the courts to mandate what people ought to believe and what religion they had to practice. Christianity was never meant to be forced on people like that. You'll learn later that at times during the Middle Ages it was. All right, that's it for lesson 14. Let's look at our pretest number 5. So let's review the first two from lesson 13. We had Diocletian, which that one matches letter. Who remembers?
Me.
Jack's over here on this side. Which one was that, Jack? What letter did that match? G, that's right. Shared the Roman Empire. So Diocletian shared the Roman Empire. Number 2, Dominus Noster, which is
Latin for our Lord.
A, Latin for our Lord. And then number 3 is Jupiter, which is, you may hear the baby, she's waking up, which is H, father of the mythological Roman gods. And then let's look at Constantine. Let's see if we can find that one. It would be F. He founded Constantinople. And then the Edict of Milan.
I know. What is it? A law for
It would be C.
religious
Yep. A law for religious freedom. And that's it. Just those two for today. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great week. Enjoy school.
Bye.